I'm Rolene Marks, and as you can see, I'm not in my studio today. This is the Israel Brief brought to you by Lay of the Land in beautiful WIZO Nahalal Youth Village. Now, I'm spending the day with WIZO today. We've just had an extraordinary morning up at the cemetery that overlooks the Jezreel Valley. We're in the north of Israel to see the graves of Zionist stalwarts, names that you will know like Moshe Dayan, Ilan and Asaf Ramon, an astronaut and a pilot who paid with their lives. You can actually hear the aircraft in the background because, as you know, there has been a significant uptick in the amount of exchanges of fire between Hezbollah in the south of Lebanon and Israeli positions in the north of Israel. We've just had a lecture from the former commander of the Israeli Air Force, Amikam Norkin, Major General Amikam Norkin, to hear about Israel's strategic strengths militarily and socially. So let's take a look at some of the top stories that are making headlines. The Israeli delegation that has gone to Paris to negotiate for a possible release of the hostages. They say, along with Jake Sullivan, the national security advisor of the CIA of the United States, along with Qatar and Egypt, have said that they are making progress as far as the release of hostages and what is needed. Unfortunately, we don't have a final deal solved yet, but we are making progress on that field. Also making headlines in Israel, the world is waiting to see whether or not Israeli forces will go into Rafah in the Gaza Strip. Israel has presented our plans to evacuate civilians. I do want to stress that protecting civilians in a time of war is a priority of the State of Israel. Our war is with Hamas, not with civilians, and we have presented that to the government. The government have also given the green light for aid, humanitarian aid, to start to enter the north of the Gaza Strip. I also want to emphasize here that Israel has said there is no limit to the amount of humanitarian aid that we will be sending in to the Gaza Strip. As is our right, we do inspect those aid trucks before they go in. This is, of course, to ensure that nothing that could aid Hamas in building up weapons and attacking Israelis is in those aid trucks. And on a positive note, Ori Megdish, who was taken hostage on the 7th of October, who was released by Israeli Defense Forces quite early on in the war, has said that she will return to active service. This is really extraordinary. This shows a strength of character and also a dedication to service and to the mission of this country, which is to rid us and civilians of the threat of Hamas. And finally, leaders from around the world will gather in Jerusalem tomorrow and Wednesday and discuss, amongst many things, rising antisemitism. As Israelis, we're fighting a war, but we are also looking around the world and watching with alarm the rise of anti-Semitism in just about every country. We saw what happened in the UK Parliament last week, along with pro-Hamas protesters taking over the Tower Bridge. We are watching what happens in Australia, in America, in France, in South Africa, all around the world. But what is really, really special is the strength that Jews, along with our allies, our many, many allies, so many of you watch this brief every day. I want to say thank you. Thank you for standing resolutely by Israel's side as we fight a just war. I know that I mentioned last week I would be in Jerusalem, but apparently there are so many people coming that Israelis are kind of not needed. It's okay, I'll be back in studio tomorrow, but for right now, from beautiful WIZO Nahalal, over 100 years old, the site of many great historical moments in the state of Israel, like the Peel Declaration all those many years ago, which would start to pave the way for a Jewish state, the Peel Commission. Just a really beautiful part of the country, punctuated by aircraft that are firing on Hezbollah targets inside Lebanon. A reminder to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online. Join our Facebook community at Lottel's site. Subscribe to this YouTube at the Israel Brief. Join us on X at Lay of the Land 5. And guys, as I always say, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. I'm Rolene, bedecked in WIZO today, and I will see you tomorrow.